Hi everybody, and good morning from New Zealand. It's 7 a.m. here. We'll just wait a couple of minutes for everybody to come on through this beautiful Zoom call on our group call, Transform Your Life Within. So good to have you here. Just looking forward to everyone joining us today to see who's looking for some information around procrastination. Certainly procrastination is a pretty strong word because we all are procrastinators at some point in our life, creating anything that we choose. And it's really important to understand why do we have procrastination and what is it all about. We're going to cover that through this call today. We're going to go through what it is, how we can remove it to a true choice, to something that we want to decide on today, and then how it's easier to take action, which I thoroughly love taking the action, because taking the action brings up all the resistance, and the resistance is what gets in our way. So I hope you all had a beautiful Christmas and New Year today, beginning of 2023. So exciting to have you all here. It's such a beautiful thing, just knowing that we're all on this beautiful journey together to create whatever we choose. And we can, obviously, at the beginning of each year, we generally have goals or choices, or we make big decisions about what we want to do for the year. But it's also important to reflect on the past year and also celebrate your wins. Happy New Year to you, Wendy. Hey, thanks for coming along. Great to see you. Doesn't time fly? Yeah, so reflecting on the things that we did win with last year, for example, with my coaching company and everything I've been doing, we've had some really, really big wins. We've created some cool products. We've masterclass with one-on-one. We've done some cool products around public speaking, moving resistance, making video footage, going lives, doing exactly this, getting the group up and running. We've now started our VA in the Philippines. Nika, she's joined us, so she's doing fabulously well, working behind the scenes with us, just to help create it and take the business, the company to the next level. And I couldn't have done it without everybody. I could have done it without making decisions and taking action. Was it always like this? No, it was not. I used to have a lot of procrastination. Even my past corporate job that I had we were in real estate selling houses. And although we did quite well as Team Jones, my wife and me, I had a lot of procrastination looking back on making phone calls for new business. Once I got with people when I was in their company developing a report, it was very easy for me. But to actually make decisions and actually make the phone calls and make the contacts moving forward, there's certainly a majority of it I could do, but certainly a lot of it, I used to have procrastination. I can remember studying it when I was doing my last year of real estate before I did the big shift and just quit and went on the journey to serve others and get in this industry. I certainly know that I had a lot of procrastination around making those calls, and it was all fear-based. It was all fear-based, based around, what if they say no? Now, for those who know my story, the big sabotaging belief of don't belong, if someone said to me no, that would just strongly enforce me unconsciously that I didn't belong. So I would unconsciously, unknowingly avoid the no's. So avoiding the no's means I didn't have that feeling of being not belonging, so therefore I would not feel like I didn't belong. So my procrastination was fear-based. It was fear-based out of my having confirmation around the belief that I didn't belong. And when we break down procrastination, there's always a belief behind it. There's always a fear. And what exactly is that fear? If you're holding a job and you haven't started a business yet, is the fear around what would other people think if you become successful doing something you love? What will they say as a family, as friends? Will they have their opinion that doesn't help? Will they tell you that you're not good enough? You can't do that. What makes you think you're worthy? That's all the fear-based activities that we try to avoid, so we don't have that feeling of being uncomfortable. We don't have that feeling of feeling rejection. Whatever the sabotaging beliefs are to you, we know there's the main 6 ones. Don't belong, not good enough, not capable, not worthy, not perfect, insignificant. We can experience any of those when we have a fear of rejection or a fear of procrastination. It could be also judgment, like I said, judgment of others and judgment of the family, or judgment of our partner, judgment of our work colleagues. You know, it can be also the fear of success. What if we actually succeed? What's that going to be like? Can I actually hold on to that wealth? Can I keep creating? And that's all the fear. And if we unpack procrastination, it's all the fears and everything that's behind procrastination. Now, ultimately, procrastination stops us from creating. The end result, it stops us from taking action. Now, as Bruce Lipton talks about in epigenetics, we have this process of the unconscious. It's just a yes machine. It takes in all the information that you give it. So it has all the information of whatever that may be. It has it, and it creates a thought. Whatever the information you're thinking about creates that thought. Now, that thought will relatively give you an experience of a past experience based on your views of whatever it may be, worldly views, house views, family views, religious views, whatever it may be. And that will give you the experience. Now, it's the experience that gives us the signal from our neurons that passes it down to the body that gives us the final end result of the action that we take. And that signal, being neuro, that comes down, if it's true, then the unconscious, I will believe it over and over and over again. If it's not true, it'll still believe it until it has conscious thoughts around that are not being correct, and therefore it may take a different journey. But until that, the unconscious is just a beautiful yes machine. It's there to have one job, and that's, as we know, to keep you alive, to keep you safe. And if we can have that basically running in the background, we know we're going to have a longer period of life. But does it always serve us? No, it doesn't. Because we might have a traumatic experience or something that happened to us younger, that we're outliving and outrunning that all the time, because our unconscious has experienced it at some time, believes it to be true, and is continuing in that pattern, believing that it has to do it to keep us alive. So it's so important that we have to change our thoughts through epigenetics, as Bruce talks about, change our thoughts to get a different result. When we set in our thoughts, we go through that process of the experience, the signal, the neuron, everything, it ends up giving us an emotion. Our emotion is what gives us our beliefs. It takes us right through to our actions. So we have our thoughts, our emotions, and eventually our beliefs, which takes us through to our actions. Now, what are our actions? Based around what resistance? Can we actually take that action? You know, we've all tried to go to the gym before, or take up playing a new music instrument, or do a new program or a hobby. And the first few days or a week, 2 weeks, we're actually having some progress if we get started. But then the resistance comes up again, and it gets stronger and stronger until we can push through that and turn it into a new habit. And that takes anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. Some people say it's 21 days, 28 days. It doesn't really matter what it is. Everybody's different, but once we form that new habit, and the average time frame is anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. So we look at, say, for example, going to the gym, we might find it hard or easy for the first week. The second week, a little bit difficult. The unconscious will throw thoughts in. Do it next week. Oh, you're okay. Go to the gym tomorrow. But once we've been doing it for 6 weeks and up to 12 weeks, it's a lot easier. It becomes a habit, and your unconscious is actually wanting to have more of it, because at that stage, our body's adjusting. We're having a thought process. The neurons, it's changing the way we think about it. We're getting the beautiful end result of feeling good about it. We're starting to see the shifts in our body. We're starting to feel great about taking the action around it, and it becomes a nice, new, solid habit. And that's a beautiful thing, because we know if we can get through that initial block, we can then start creating this new habit and have the action around it. But do we still have procrastination? And yes, we do. We can still have it after 3 or 6 months where, oh, I'll do that tomorrow because the friends are coming around for tea, or I'm running late from work, so I haven't got time to gym, so I'll just go in the morning. We can still experience procrastination at any time of our life. And if we push through it and go and create it, that's fine. But if we're getting held up or it's holding us back for some particular reason, we must ask ourselves, what is behind the procrastination? And when we unpack it and pull it apart, the opposite of procrastination is taking action. I think in the dictionary there, procrastination is something around the experience of delaying something. So if you're delaying taking action, then you're in procrastination. So just think about that for a little bit. What are you delaying taking action on? What's in the way of you taking that action? What's causing the delay? Why are you postponing taking the action? And that's everything that we unpack in this work. We unpack it and we remove it, because everything to doing the resistance to taking the action that's in the way is just an emotion and a feeling on a past memory. That's all it is. And it's not true. And the beautiful thing about this work is we can remove these, and over a period of time we can have anything that we choose, because taking the action becomes easier. So even doing these Zoom calls here, 12 months ago, this was pretty nerve-wracking. It was hard to do. I had to create it. I had to do it. But doing them for, around about a year, it's a lot easier. Because what I would do is I'd close my eyes and step and do the processes, and I'd notice myself on a Zoom call with 1,000 people on the Zoom, all looking at different faces and blah, 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 and me jumping out and speaking and talking and running the call. And that brought up all the resistance of procrastination and all the resistance of being judged and don't belong. And then I was able to remove it through the processes that we have here in this group, and also the masterclass for those of you that have it. So my beautiful thing to you today is, where are you procrastinating? I want you to have a think about that. Where are you mostly procrastinating today? Which basically means, what is the one thing you'd love to create, or you are creating, but you're struggling with? And what I want you to do is think about that. What is something you'd love to create that you're struggling with? And I'd like you to write that down. Just write that down if you've got a pen and paper, or hold it into your thoughts, and just write down what that is. What is that beautiful creation? Now we're thinking about that creation. Let's step into the thinking, the thought process, and let's go into the neurons, down the chain, down into the emotion of that feeling. So what I'd like you to do is just to close your eyes and step into that choice, that creation, that end result, that desired reality. Step into that, what it is for you, and get the feeling around it. And that's what's so beautiful if we write it down. If you're watching the recording, pause it, come grab some pen and paper and come back. Because when we write it down, we actually see it. And we have more of a thought process around it. We get more thoughts. And that creates more of an emotion, because we believe it to be true, because we've written it down, we've put the energy into writing it down. So in the end result of feelings and emotions of this beautiful end result, what emotions comes up for creating this? Is it 20K, 50K a month? Starting a new business? Being an artist, musician, parent, whatever it may be. Step into that end result. Get the beautiful emotion around knowing that you created it. Step into what's it like. Where are you? Who's with you? Well, the money's coming in. What are you spending it on? That beautiful emotion, that beautiful end result. Just notice where you are and notice what you're doing. With the beautiful feelings and emotions around that, I want you to times them all by 10. That's your beautiful desired reality. This choice that has procrastination. And now what I'd like you to do is keep your eyes closed and come back to now. Come back to now and notice what it's like. What's your current reality like? Knowing that you don't have that yet. And now, being in your current reality, I'd like you to look at what's in the way. What emotions and feelings are in the way? What fear is in the way? Just notice it. What is stopping you from taking that action? Is it judgment-based? Is it a sabotaging belief? Not good enough, not capable, don't belong? Is it even some more fear based around what will others think? The fear of success, the fear of failure. What's in the way of the beautiful desired reality, that choice that you've chosen today, and just notice that. And then what I'd like you to do is to open up your eyes. And we can notice there, well done for doing that process, we can notice there that there's resistance in the way. And if we actually ask our intuition, our unconscious, what that is, the information comes through. And if it's not quite coming through 100%, we'll connect to source shortly. But we can actually spend more time in that process asking ourselves, and two, we find out exactly what's in the way, and that's our procrastination. That's how we can find our procrastination as to why we can't take the action. The beautiful thing about this work, as we know, we can jump into a process and remove that, which we'll do a superconscious little recode this morning, just to remove some of that resistance. So just throw in the chat for me, what came up? What fears and emotions came up for you on that process? What was in the way? I know for me with my big don't belong, it was my whole life was like 80% don't belong. So I was always capable, and I was always felt I was good enough, and I was always taking action and building all these empires, but I was building them to satisfy don't belong. So I was creating communities and businesses so I could stand and step into to get that sense and that feeling of belonging. But the one thing I hated when you have the don't belong sabotaging belief is you cannot handle being judged. You cannot judge others, and you cannot handle people judging you. It's terrifying, because as soon as you do, you're getting into the feeling, you're triggering the belief that you don't belong. So which sabotaging belief are you experiencing around that particular choice? And we have to remember that all these feelings and emotions that attach to these past memories, they aren't true. You know, I want you to take a breath now. Take that beautiful breath. And now just think to yourself, that second's gone. We can't have it back. But the memory of taking that breath is still there. If it was an exciting, happy memory, that's what we'll remember. But if it was a sad memory, we'll remember the sad emotion and feeling attached to sadness. So everything that's in our way is just past memories, consciously. We must learn to live right in the now, taking the action right now all the time as to what we want to create. So if we know that all the resistance, the procrastinations, fear-based, sabotage, belief, judgment, whatever, and it's not true and it's in the past, just think about that and recognize that it's all from the past memories. Past memories that don't serve us. You know, as a kid, you might fall off a horse, or even like as a little baby, you might fall off a bed from a height, fall out of a tree as a kid, whatever it may be. And you'll put up a belief that heights are dangerous, heights are bad. So you might have a fear of heights all your life, and you may be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s now going, I still have a fear of heights. Now, unconsciously, the procrastination will be like, don't climb the tree, don't go up the staircases, don't go to that big tall building, I don't want to stay in the top floor in the hotel, I'm not jumping out of a plane, whatever it may be. Because your unconscious, as soon as you think about that, will throw up the resistance. Don't do it. It'll bring the pain from that past memory into your active experience and stop you, or give you anxiety, or whatever it may be, to stop you getting that, taking that, going up to the heights, whatever it may be. And that's all it is, past memories. That past memory might serve us as a kid to make sure we don't climb that tree, fall off that bike, little infant roll off the bed or whatever, to stop us feeling that pain again as a little one. But if we want to get it as we're older and climb mountains and enjoy hotels and maybe be a scaffolder or a builder, there's going to be this resistance in the way. Now, our unconscious is all for it. Let's go have the fun, but it's the unconscious that's going to hold us back. Simply by throwing feelings and emotions, especially the emotions, into our field, big cocktail of them to stop us taking the action, and then we don't take the action unless we push through it. So what I'd like you to do now is step back into that desired choice that you've just chosen today. The one that's got all this stuff in the way, this resistance. And if you certainly didn't experience too much resistance, pick that choice and take it a step further. Times it by 10, what would you be doing? Because it's really important that in this work, we make the resistance as big as what we can. And we can only do that by making the desired reality even bigger. So we can bring up all the resistance into the field. It's the bigger true choice, and a true choice is just because we love it. So have a think about that true choice that you want to create. Why did you choose it? Did you choose it just because you loved it? Because that's number one. When we choose it just because we love it, that's when we come from our true inner power. We're coming from us to connection to having it all. And all the information comes from true power when we're connecting to source, connecting to our intuition. And it's so easy to do that. So what I'd like you to do is to close your eyes and step into that true choice again just because you love it, and make it as big and beautiful as you choose. Step into that beautiful desired reality, that true end result. And then just create that ball of energy just above your head. And have that ball of energy shoot a beam up through the ceiling of the house if you're inside, up through the sky, into the universe, all the way past the stars. This beam of light from that ball shooting all the way up and connecting to source or heaven, whatever you choose to call it. This is a completely natural process, because if you study chakras, we have our first chakra just above our head of connection. And that's exactly what this is designed for. So with that beam of energy, pour down a beam of white light from the sky above, all the way down into the round ball of energy, filling it up with beautiful white energy. And then have that connection of that ball of energy of whiteness, that beautiful white, the beautiful, purest white you've ever seen. Have it then beam down into the top of your head and into your body, filling up your whole body with this beautiful white energy. And having this beautiful white energy just going down through your body like a wave, down through the head, neck, shoulders, body, legs, ankles, toes, arms, fingers, and out through. Going out through the bottom of your toes and back up around through the top of your head. You just fill up the whole body with this beautiful white energy. And then just both in your heart, and all the ones are on the call. Listening to the replay. Just give me permission to access your superconscious. Just will it in your heart. And just step into that beautiful choice of deciding what it is that you love. Superconscious, see this beautiful choice that we've chosen today. Please create the perfect treatment plan. Bring everything into the active experience that's creating any form of procrastination, please. Please treat all fear, judgment, all resistance to this beautiful creation. Treat it in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history. Thank you. Treat all sabotaging beliefs, don't belong, not good enough, not capable, insignificant, not perfect. Treat them all in the perfect way, in a perfect order, and do a massive change history. Superconscious, please treat all body systems to this true choice. Neck pain, joints, blood flow, muscle group, all chakras. Please treat all resistance to this beautiful choice. And as this beautiful white energy is flowing through the body, notice it going up and around and through you. Notice the energy pouring up and going down through your chakras, and as it does, just lighting them up and clean them of all negative integrity that's in there, please. All blocks, all resistance. Going down through and unblocking the heart chakra, the sacral chakra, the lower chakra. Unblocking the throat chakra as it's pouring this beautiful white energy through. And as this energy comes through, just notice it changing like the colors of the rainbow. Purify all chakras. That's it. Blue, green, red, yellow. All the beautiful colors pouring through our body, cleansing our whole body, removing all resistance to this true choice we've chosen today. And subconscious, please treat the fear of actually getting it right, the fear of getting it wrong. Please treat all family systems, mother and father's side, 7 generations each, please. Please treat all definitions, all events from the past too, please. Treat all events from the past, present, and future events too, please. Our future events may very well hold the procrastination. Wanting to have that event in the future, this desired reality. Remove all procrastination to future events, please. Treating the perfect way in the perfect order into a massive change history. Also, please treat all emotions, please. All emotions from the past, present, future, and do a massive change history. That beautiful connection to source. Noticing this desired reality, I want you then just to notice your current reality and just allow for the next steps. Connect to source all the way up to heaven, source, whatever you want to call it. And just allow for the information to come through. What is my next step to taking the actions to be one step closer to my desired reality? Notice what comes through. The true information. My genius. Allow that information to come through. And now look at that information of that action that you need to take. And just notice it. Step into the feeling of now knowing that you've taken that action and it's complete. And now just ask your intuition, thank you so much for allowing me to complete that action. What is my next action to be one step closer to my desired reality? And just allow that to come through. Superconscious, please treat all resistance to both these actions, please. Treat in the perfect way, in the perfect order, into a massive change history. Please treat all part personalities, events from the past, emotions, broken promises, broken agreements. Treat it all in the perfect way, in the perfect order, into a massive change history. Please treat all feminine beliefs, treatment from a mother's side, please. Relationship with mother, please treat that. That's it. And just allow that beautiful feeling to come through, that beautiful emotion, that connection to source to come through and just be a part of who you are. And I want you to visualize taking one step forward and stepping into this beautiful desired reality again. Stepping into knowing that it's done. How exciting that is, knowing that it's done. Just step into it. There you go. Subconscious, put all resistance to this desired reality, please, into a bubble. And this bubble just out from my body, just in front of me, like a meter or a foot, whatever it is for you. Create this bubble, and I want you to put all resistance to this creation into that bubble, please. Subconscious, please treat everything within that bubble, please. All resistance, please. All the beliefs, the fear, the judgments. Treat it all in the perfect way, in the perfect order. And do a massive change history. And just breathe in this desired reality. The feeling of just knowing that you've created it all, that you took the action, that it's done. That's it. Having all those beautiful emotions and feelings, now knowing that you're creating it, you're taking the action. You're fulfilling your inner power by creating and achieving exactly what you want to create. Doesn't that feel beautiful? And such less resistance from memories that had emotions and feelings that just aren't true. Stepping in, being in the desired reality, step into the now of your desired reality. This is true. I love it. I feel it. This excites me. I'm so happy to be knowing that I'm creating it all exactly what I choose. Then take a big breath. Breathe it in. Subconscious, please treat all the memories we've touched today and reconnect everything back into the matrix of the universe, including memories 1, 2, and 3, conscious, unconscious, and superconscious. Or other memories, tandem memories, treat them all, please. And secure them all beautifully in this new way of being, of the action taker. And take another breath. And then open your eyes. Now that you've opened your eyes, I want you to look at something that's in the room or something that's around you and just go, wow, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready to take the action. And now have a think about that action. And just notice how the resistance is less to taking the action. What I'd like you to do is just to throw in the chat what number you think you were beforehand and what number you are now. As we know, 10 is like really hard to take the action. I'm almost stuck. I just cannot take any action. And a 0 would be I'm in my end result now, taking the action, and it's very easy for me. Awesome, excellent. 4 to 2, so we've halved the resistance. That's awesome, excellent. And 8 to 2, thank you for sharing. That's awesome. That's so beautiful. Now, we also know too that when we're 5 or under, it's easy to take the action. Thanks so much for sharing. When we're above 5, it's harder to take the action because there's too much resistance. So thank you so much for doing that process with me, and I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you've got any questions around that, feel free to put it in the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions. Apart from that, drink plenty of water. Stay chilled today. Enjoy the new year. Day 14 or 15, whatever the date is today. 16, 2 weeks into it. I've just got back from holidays, so I'm raring to go. I'm here to serve. I'm ready to go. And happy to answer any questions and help and serve in any way or form. This group is all about supporting you guys and giving you free content. Some of you may want to work with me, and if you do, that's fine. Just reach out. It's not a problem at all. You can send me a direct message on email at info@gregjonesnz.com. Just whatever it is for you, wherever you're at, whatever you want to achieve, I'm here to support and help. So thank you very much to everybody that's joined the call, and for those supporting the call. It's so great to see us here back into the time frame of doing these calls. I love these calls.